The Galactic Concilium survey vessel Eternal Seeker hung in Earth's orbit, cloaked from detection by technology that bent light and other electromagnetic radiation around its sleek obsidian hull. Captain Drexnar, a veteran of 50 first contact missions, watched the holographic display of human activity with undisguised contempt. His bony ridges furrowed as he observed missile tests in North Korea, border skirmishes in disputed territories, and the electromagnetic chaos of 7 billion communication devices. Another warlike species, he muttered to his executive officer. Primitive, yet dangerous. The worst combination. The Concilium's leading xenobiologist, Dr. Venka, a six-limbed, feathered theorist with an impeccable record of species assessment, delivered her findings to the 17-Species Council via quantum entanglement. These humans are evolutionary aberrations, she explained, gesturing with her primary manipulators. They are apex predators who never lost their killing instinct even after developing technology. She pointed to their entertainment feeds. Blood sports, hunting simulations, and war fantasies dominated their cultural outputs. Our preliminary assessment categorizes them as potentially the most dangerous species we've encountered in this sector. The Emergency Council debated for 3 cycles before reaching a decision. Ambassador Zixtal of the peaceful Ardani, known for their empathic abilities and crystalline appearance that refracted light in mesmerizing patterns, volunteered for what many considered a suicidal mission of first contact. Every species deserves a chance, she argued, her translucent skin flashing with emotional colors that her translator rendered as hope. Their art suggests capacity for empathy alongside their aggression. The landing party touched down during a G20 summit in New Delhi, their arrival carefully orchestrated to appear as a surprise to Earth's leaders. Concilium intelligence expected panic, possibly military aggression. What they received instead shocked even the most optimistic assessment teams. United Earth Ambassador Sophia Chen greeted Zixtal in flawless Ardani language, a feat that should have been impossible without prior contact. Her pronunciation was so perfect that Zixtal's crystalline form momentarily pulsed with confusion. "We've been watching your observation ships for decades," Chen explained casually, as if discussing the weather. "We've learned quite a bit about Concilium languages and customs from your transmissions. Welcome to Earth. We've prepared accommodations suited to each of your species' physiological requirements." During the diplomatic reception that evening, a human server suddenly collapsed, skin turning an alarming shade of blue. Within seconds, human security personnel tackled an alien disguised as an Ardani aide. The imposter's holographic camouflage flickered, revealing the chitinous exoskeleton of a Vrex extremist. Dr. Maya Rodriguez, Earth's biodefense chief, neutralized the pathogen with a countermeasure administered through the ventilation system. The effect was immediate. Humans who had begun showing symptoms recovered within minutes. "Interesting attempt," she told the would-be assassin as security forces contained him. "Next time, don't use a virus with a protein fold we've already seen in our extinction-level simulations. We developed countermeasures centuries ago." From the shadows, Concilium Security Director Kivex, a predatory reptilian himself, watched with narrowed vertical pupils. His scaled skin darkened with concern as he subjectively recorded his observations for the High Council. They detected a bioweapon specifically designed to be undetectable to their technological level, he noted. "Either we have a catastrophic security breach, or these humans are far more advanced than they appear." They recognized an assassination attempt using technology they shouldn't comprehend, and neutralized it with a precision that suggests extensive preparation. He watched Ambassador Chen chatting amiably with the Ardani delegation, her expression revealing nothing but diplomatic warmth. "We may have drastically underestimated these predators," Kivex concluded, "and that could be the most dangerous mistake the Concilium has ever made. How could a species still destroying each other in civil wars have defense systems advanced enough to detect our most sophisticated bioweapons?" Kivex paced in his secure chamber aboard the Concilium flagship, tail swishing with agitation. The contradiction troubled him deeply. Humans appeared technologically primitive in some areas, yet possessed capabilities that should be centuries beyond their reach in others. He activated a secure quantum channel to his most trusted operative, Agent Mira 7. I have an assignment requiring your unique talents. Mira 7, a shape-shifting Nexari, whose liquid metal physiology allowed her to interface with any information system, received her briefing with characteristic stoicism. Unlike most Concilium species, Nexari emotional expressions were nearly imperceptible, a trait that made them ideal intelligence operatives. Find everything, Kvex ordered. Leave no data node unexamined. I want to know what these humans are truly capable of. 3 days later, Mira 7 accessed Earth's networks from a public terminal in the New York Public Library. Her body appeared perfectly human, a nondescript woman in casual clothes, while her fingertips extended microscopic filaments into the terminal's physical ports. The data flood nearly overwhelmed her neural pathways as she absorbed centuries of human history simultaneously. Director Kvex, she transmitted through their secure channel, her typically emotionless voice trembling. These humans, they're exterminators. Her findings revealed humanity's hunting history, not just for food, but for dominance. Unlike other predator species that evolved restraint as they developed intelligence, humans had refined killing techniques across every conceivable environment. Their archives contained thousands of weapons designed specifically for obliterating their own kind. They've systematically driven countless species to extinction when threatened, she reported. Not just predators that competed with them, but microscopic organisms like smallpox and polio. They don't just kill threats, they eradicate them completely. Mira 7 broke into classified military servers with surprising ease, discovering Project Nemesis, humanity's extraterrestrial defense protocol, initiated after their first detection of alien observation vessels in the 2030s. Simulation after simulation showed humans accurately predicting Concilium biology, tactics, and technology. One heavily encrypted file contained the exact molecular structure of the failed bioweapon, with 12 different countermeasures ready to deploy. Most chilling was a restricted document titled The Geneva Restraint, a self-imposed limitation on human warfare. The document began, "As humanity reaches beyond Earth, we acknowledge our species' capacity for unlimited destructive potential. These protocols represent the line we shall not cross except in extinction-level scenarios." The protocols described weapons that defied Concilium understanding, targeted viral packets that could rewrite the genetic code of entire species, nanite swarms that converted matter to energy, and something called consciousness disruption fields that could disable sentient thought across light years. When Mira 7 attempted to transmit the complete dossier, her connection abruptly terminated. She looked up to find herself surrounded by ordinary-looking humans in casual clothes, their relaxed postures belying the precision with which they had encircled her. Agent Mira 7 of the Nexari Infiltration Corps, said a smiling woman with a steaming mug of coffee in her hands. "I'm Dr. Eleanor Chen, Chief of Sinological Relations. Your infiltration technique is impressive, but we detected you 17 seconds after you connected to our network." Instead of detaining her, Dr. Chen handed Mira 7 a secure access card with the United Earth emblem. "We'd like to offer you full access to our archives. The real ones, not just what you've been able to piece together. We have nothing to hide from those who approach in peace." Chen's eyes hardened slightly, the only change in her pleasant expression. "But we want the Concilium to understand exactly what humanity is capable of if threatened. There are predators in this galaxy far worse than humanity, Agent Mira 7. Some of them are already hunting." HMS Prometheus glided through the quantum turbulence of the Cygnus X1 system, its hull shimmering with adaptive shielding that dispersed the region's deadly radiation. This system had claimed 7 Concilium scientific expeditions over the past century, all attempting to study the quantum rift that periodically expanded without warning, releasing waves of destructive energy that shredded conventional matter. On the bridge, Captain Sarah Reeves, decorated veteran of Earth's unification war, stood with relaxed confidence. Her dark skin bore the ritual scarifications of her Nigerian ancestors, warriors who once hunted lions with spears. Now she hunted more dangerous prey, existential threats to sentient life. Broadcast on all concilium frequencies, she ordered, her voice calm but authoritative. Make sure our shadow can hear us. Lieutenant Zhang activated the comms array. To the concilium vessel's shadow of justice, maintaining stealth position off our port bow. We invite you to observe our mission to neutralize the sickness rift. Captain Reeves extends formal greetings to Commander Dravnos and his crew. Aboard the Shadow, Commander Dravnos, a serpentine dracid whose species evolved from ambush predators, hissed in shock, slitted pupils narrowing to thin lines. How did they detect us? And how do they know my name? Unknown, Commander, his science officer responded, scaled fingers racing across sensor displays. Their sensors should be centuries from detecting our chrono-displacement cloak. We're literally out of phase with normal spacetime. The Prometheus approached the swirling quantum rift, a tear in spacetime that pulsed with chaotic energy. Previous attempts to seal it had failed catastrophically, with the loss of thousands of concilium scientists. The humans deployed a constellation of small devices that formed a precise geometric pattern around the anomaly. They're attempting stabilization, the science officer reported incredulously. That's suicide. The quantum fluctuations will. He fell silent as the devices activated, generating a containment field that smoothed the rift's chaotic edges. The violent energy spikes began stabilizing into predictable patterns. Impossible, breathed Dravnos. Our best minds determined this was mathematically impossible. Without warning, the rift pulsed, sending a massive energy surge toward both ships. The Shadow's systems overloaded instantly, leaving it drifting toward the anomaly's gravitational pull with life support failing and emergency lighting bathing the bridge in crimson. Dravnos made a desperate decision. Send distress call to the human vessel. Within moments, the Prometheus abandoned its successful containment operation and executed a precision maneuver to intercept the drifting concilium vessel. Magnetic grapples deployed, securing the ships together. Boarding team, prepare for rescue operation, Captain Reeves ordered. Medical priority alpha. Full emergency protocols. When the humans breached the Shadow's hull, they found the crew unconscious from oxygen deprivation. As they deployed emergency life support, Dravnos' security team, having feigned unconsciousness, attempted to access the boarding party's equipment to gather intelligence on human weapons technology. The moment they touched the sealed systems, their bodies froze in mid-motion, paralyzed by a non-lethal defense mechanism that no concilium technology could achieve. Captain Reeves personally entered the bridge, kneeling beside the immobilized Dravnos. She administered a counteragent, allowing him to speak while his body remained temporarily paralyzed. You could have let us die, Dravnos managed, his reptilian eyes locked on Reeves. Why risk your mission to save those spying on you? Reeves smiled, revealing the slight points of her canine teeth. We hunt threats, Commander, not potential friends. That distinction is what your concilium fails to understand about humanity. She tapped a control on her wrist, releasing the paralysis agent. Now, would you like to observe how we seal this rift properly? Or shall we return you to concilium space? Dravnos stared at the woman who had both saved his life and demonstrated she could have taken it with ease. For the first time in his centuries-long military career, he felt genuine fear, not of dying, but of misunderstanding a species whose predatory capacity was matched only by their restraint. Show me, he said finally. Show me what humans truly are. The concilium's grand chamber had never been so packed. Representatives from all 17 member species crowded the tiered seating, while hundreds more observed via quantum entanglement feeds. Commander Dravnos stood before them, still wearing medical monitoring devices from his near-death experience. The human vessel contained energy weapons capable of destroying small moons. He testified, voice uncharacteristically subdued. Their targeting systems were precise enough to sever individual neural pathways in our bodies without permanent damage. They could have dissected us molecule by molecule. He paused, vertical pupils dilating. Instead, they abandoned a successful scientific mission to save lives they had no obligation to save. Their medics treated our wounded with techniques that our physicians are still struggling to comprehend. The concilium erupted in debate. Ambassador Zixel's crystalline form pulsed with triumph. This proves humans are benevolent. They showed mercy when they had every reason for hostility. General Thexler of the Krell pounded her armored fist against the speaker's podium. This merely demonstrates tactical restraint. The perfect predator doesn't reveal its true nature until the killing stroke. High Counselor Vren activated the ancient silence glyph, forcing the chamber into order. The containment vote proceeds in one rotation. Until then. He was interrupted by the chamber's diplomatic alert. A human transmission requested direct audience with the full concilium, an unprecedented request for a non-member species. Absolutely not. Tzkik shittered nervously. The humans must be kept from our central worlds at all costs. The Ardani delegation threatened immediate withdrawal from the concilium if the humans were rejected. After frantic negotiations, the council merrily approved the human petition. 2 days later, the Grand Chamber's massive ceremonial doors swung open. United Earth Ambassador Michael Okonkwo entered with a small delegation. His towering Nigerian frame was adorned with traditional Igbo regalia, blended with modern diplomatic symbols. Where most species would bring a security detail, Okonkwo was accompanied by scientists, cultural specialists, and a single military officer, Admiral Helena Vasquez, whose artificial eyes scanned the chamber with unnerving precision. Without preamble, Okonkwo activated a holographic display that caused several concilium security systems to trigger silent alarms. The technology operating it exceeded known human capabilities by centuries. Esteemed concilium, Okonkwo began, his resonant voice carrying natural authority. We understand your fear. You've identified humanity as predators, and you're right. The chamber stilled at this unexpected candor. Humanity evolved as pursuit predators, Okonkwo continued, displaying ancient humans running down prey through endurance hunting. We became apex predators not through strength, but through persistence, cooperation, and tool use. Unlike ambush predators who conserve energy, we will chase our prey until it collapses from exhaustion if necessary. The hologram shifted to human warfare throughout history, from spears to nuclear weapons. Several concilium members recoiled. But what you fail to understand is that humanity's greatest evolutionary advantage isn't our predatory nature, it's our capacity to choose what we hunt. The display shifted to show the document titled, The Predator Protocol, humanity's self-developed ethical framework for interstellar relations. We acknowledge our capacity for violence, Okonkwo explained. But we've channeled these instincts toward protection rather than conquest. This protocol, ratified by all Earth nations 2 decades ago, commits us to using our predatory instincts only against threats to life's diversity. Admiral Vasquez stepped forward, activating a classified star chart. In the 3 years since we detected concilium observation of Earth, humanity has neutralized extinction-level threats to 3 pre-spaceflight civilizations in nearby systems. She indicated planets unknown, even to the concilium's extensive surveys. Horrifying images appeared, planet-killing asteroids diverted, engineered pathogens neutralized, and predatory species contained, all without the protected species ever knowing they were in danger. Humanity has made its choice, Okonkwo stated with quiet intensity. In this galaxy, we hunt only that which threatens the tapestry of sentient life. We have chosen to be the shield, not the sword. He looked directly at High Counselor Vren. But make no mistake, we are still hunters, and we have detected a threat approaching concilium space that you believed extinct for millennia. It's time we discussed the myriad. The chamber erupted in pandemonium at the mention of an ancient horror most believed was merely legend, a consuming hive mind that had devoured thousands of civilizations before mysteriously disappearing. Vren's aged face betrayed genuine fear for the first time. "How could you possibly know about the myriad?" he whispered. "The vote on the human containment proposal is suspended indefinitely," High Counselor Vren announced to the stunned Concilium 3 days later. Emergency protocols had transformed the Grand Chamber into a war room. Holographic displays showed a spreading darkness at the galaxy's edge, consuming stars at an impossible rate. Long-range quantum sensors confirm it, TZ reported, his normal bureaucratic detachment replaced by barely controlled panic. The myriad has returned. For most Concilium species, the myriad existed only as an ancient horror story, a hive-mind organism that consumed entire civilizations, incorporating their biological and technological distinctiveness into itself. The oldest record spoke of thousands of worlds devoured before the myriad mysteriously disappeared millennia ago. Our ancestors believed they retreated to dark space between galaxies, Vren explained gravely, rebuilding their collective consciousness after some unknown catastrophe. General Thexlor studied the tactical projections with growing despair. Historical models show no defense has ever succeeded. They adapt to every weapon, every strategy. The doors to the chamber slammed open as human representatives entered unannounced. Admiral Helena Vasquez strode directly to the central holographic controls, interfacing Earth technology without permission. "The myriad operates as a distributed neural network," she stated without preamble, displaying complex mathematical models. "Each consumed world becomes a processing node. Their consumption isn't random. It follows optimized expansion patterns." Counselor Tizikik's compound eyes widened in shock. "These are identical to our classified temporal models. It took our greatest minds centuries to develop these simulations. How could humans possibly?" "We recognize the pattern," Vasquez interrupted. "Humanity has been modeling predator-prey relationships for centuries. The myriad follows consumption algorithms similar to invasive species on Earth." She displayed a tactical assessment from Earth's Defense Council. "The myriad's projected path will reach the Ardani homeworld in 14 standard days, followed by the Predsit colonies and eventually Earth. Their consumption rate accelerates with each assimilated world." The chamber fell into chaos as species representatives demanded immediate evacuation of threatened systems. Accusations flew. Why wasn't the Concilium prepared? How had this ancient enemy returned without detection? Through the pandemonium, Vasquez calmly continued her presentation. "The myriad's primary weakness is their distributed cognition. Their decision-making slows proportionally to their communication latency." She activated a simulation showing precisely targeted gravitational weapons creating space-time distortions between myriad nodes. By disrupting their ability to communicate between consumed systems, we can isolate and neutralize sections of their collective. "Preposterous," General Thexlor growled. "The gravitational manipulation you're suggesting would require energy output equivalent to multiple stars." Vasquez's artificial eyes flashed. "We've been developing this technology since detecting the myriad's quantum signature a decade ago." The chamber fell silent. "A decade," High Counselor Vren whispered. "You knew about the myriad before our first contact." "We detected their awakening signature during our early quantum experiments," Vasquez confirmed. "Humanity has been preparing for this specific threat since before we knew about the Concilium's existence." Ambassador Okonkwo stepped forward. "The Predator Protocol exists because we understood what was coming. Earth stands ready to deploy our full defensive capability, but we require Concilium cooperation." After 3 days of bitter debate, the Concilium narrowly voted to accept human assistance. The first Joint Human Concilium Defense Force formed under Admiral Vasquez's command. As the combined fleet deployed to intercept the myriad at the galaxy's edge, Vasquez revealed one final secret to High Counselor Vren in the privacy of her command ship. "The myriad has visited Earth before," she explained, displaying ancient cave paintings showing a consuming darkness from the stars. Genetic analysis suggests humanity's unusual cognitive development, our pattern recognition, persistence, and predatory intelligence may have evolved specifically in response to myriad predation during prehistory. Vren stared at the human admiral in dawning comprehension. You're saying humans evolved to hunt the myriad. Evolution has no purpose, Vasquez replied with a predator smile. But sometimes it finds perfect solutions to ancient problems. The edge of concilium space blazed with energy discharges visible across thousands of light years. The combined human concilium fleet minus 437 vessels, organized in precise geometric formations, faced the advancing myriad swarm. The enemy resembled a living oil slick across space, millions of biomechanical vessels moving with hive-mind coordination, consuming everything in their path. Admiral Vasquez stood on the bridge of the UES Nemesis, humanity's most advanced warship. Around her, human commanders operated with uncanny calm, while concilium officers betrayed growing panic as the Myriad approached. Myriad Vanguard approaching optimal engagement range, announced Tactical Officer Rajan Singh, his hands dancing across holographic controls. Deploy Phase 1, Vasquez ordered. Hunter Groups Alpha through Echo. Commence Operation Broken Mirror. 5 small squadrons of human vessels broke formation, appearing to flee in disarray. The myriad swarm, programmed to target apparent weakness, diverted substantial forces in pursuit. They're taking the bait, Singh confirmed. As predicted, Vasquez replied, predators can't resist wounded prey. The fleeing human ships led their pursuers through precisely calculated trajectories into waiting gravity weapon emplacements. Spatial distortions tore the pursuing myriad vessels apart, isolating segments of the collective consciousness. Concilium observers watched in stunned silence as human commanders coordinated with efficiency that bordered on prescience. Their natural capacity for predicting movement patterns and exploiting behavioral weaknesses made them uniquely suited to anticipating the myriad's responses. Sir, they're adapting faster than projected, Singh reported as the myriad collective began modifying its behavior, avoiding the obvious traps. Good, Vasquez said with a predatory smile. Implement psychological warfare protocols. Human ships began broadcasting quantum signals mimicking myriad communication patterns, seeding contradictory commands throughout the collective. The hive mind fragmented, sections attacking each other in confusion. High Counselor Vren observed from the Concilium command vessel, his ancient eyes wide with disbelief. They're using the myriad's own communication against them. How is this possible? Humans are natural mimics, explained Dr. Eleanor Chen, who stood beside him. We evolved studying prey behavior, learning to think like what we hunt. The myriad launched a desperate counterattack, sacrificing thousands of vessels in an attempt to breach the fleet's perimeter. For a moment, it seemed they might succeed, until Vasquez activated humanity's most closely guarded weapon. All ships, prepare for Operation Pitfall, she commanded. Gravitational singularity devices active. Target the quantum corridors. Across the battlefield, specialized human vessels generated controlled micro-singularities that collapsed the quantum corridors the myriad used for faster-than-light communication and travel. Cut off from reinforcements and fractured into isolated clusters, the hive mind experienced something entirely new: vulnerability. The battle raged for 23 hours. When it ended, the myriad forces lay in ruins, their collective consciousness fragmented beyond recovery. For the first time in recorded galactic history, the cosmic devourer faced extinction rather than inflicting it. In the aftermath, as salvage teams studied the destroyed myriad components, Dr. Chen addressed the emergency session of the Concilium Council. She displayed genetic analyses comparing myriad biological components with Earth's fossil record. The evidence is conclusive, she explained. The myriad visited Earth approximately 3 million years ago, during a critical phase of human evolution. The fossil record shows a sudden leap in brain development, tool use, and coordinated hunting strategies immediately after this period. She displayed ancient cave paintings discovered deep within Earth's oldest human settlements. These depictions of sky demons appear in isolated human cultures across our planet, separated by vast distances, yet showing remarkable similarities. The holographic display shifted to show human DNA alongside fragments recovered from myriad biological components. We found something remarkable. Human DNA contains defensive adaptations specifically evolved to resist myriad assimilation techniques. No other species we've studied shares these genetic markers. Vren leaned forward, his ancient face creased with dawning comprehension. Are you suggesting that humans? Yes, Chen confirmed. We believe humanity evolved specifically in response to ancient myriad predation. Natural selection favored those early humans who could outthink, outplan, and outfight the myriad. We became the apex predator on our planet because we had to develop the capacity to fight something far worse. She looked across the assembled representatives of the Concilium's 17 species. Perhaps we were nature's answer to the myriad all along. A predator evolved specifically to hunt the ultimate predator. 6 months after the myriad's defeat, representatives from all Concilium species gathered in Earth's newly constructed Interstellar Diplomatic Center in Geneva. The massive crystalline dome, incorporating architectural elements from all 17 Concilium species alongside human design, symbolize the new era of cooperation. High Counselor Vren, supported by medical technology that sustained his ancient form, stood beside United Earth President Adeyemi as they signed the historic document known as the Soul Accords. The agreement formally recognized humanity as full members of the Galactic Concilium, but with a unique designation never before bestowed upon any species, guardians of the evolutionary preserve. Today we acknowledge a fundamental truth. Vren addressed the assembled delegates, his voice strengthened by emotion, despite his frail body. Humanity's predatory heritage is not a liability to galactic peace. It is perhaps its greatest asset, when properly channeled through ethical frameworks like the Geneva Restraint and Predator Protocol. The Accord recognized humanity's right to maintain its advanced defensive capabilities and granted Earth unprecedented authority to intervene in situations threatening sentient life throughout Concilium space. Ambassador Okonkwo stepped forward to address the assembly. In the spirit of full disclosure, Earth must make a final revelation. He activated a holographic display showing a network of defensive outposts throughout Concilium space, many in systems previously thought unexplored by humans. These guardian stations were established by humanity over the past 15 years, he explained. Many predate our official first contact with the Concilium. A shocked murmur spread through the assembly. Commander Dravanos, recently appointed as Concilium Security Director, leaned toward Admiral Vasquez. You've had covert operations throughout our territory for years. Observation posts only, she clarified. Programmed to activate only if extinction-level threats were detected. 3 times they prevented devastating attacks on pre-spaceflight civilizations. You never knew because intervention wasn't necessary. Rather than expressing outrage at this revelation, many Concilium species found comfort in humanity's protective presence. The Predsit representatives, whose colony worlds had been directly in the myriad's path, formally requested permanent human defense forces in their systems. Ambassador Zixtal approached Okonkwo with a crystalline artifact of obvious antiquity. Our most sacred texts contain prophecies of star-born predators who hunt only hunters, she said, her translucent form refracting light in patterns that expressed profound emotion. For millennia, we believed these were merely allegories teaching restraint. Now we understand they were memories of an ancient truth. As the ceremonies concluded and delegates prepared to return to their homeworlds, automated systems throughout the galaxy detected an unprecedented phenomenon. Ancient quantum beacons, dormant for millions of years, began activating simultaneously across thousands of star systems, responding to the myriad's defeat. In a secure chamber beneath Geneva, Earth's highest officials gathered with Concilium leadership as the beacon's message was decoded. The quantum transmission originated from a civilization that had vanished from the galaxy long before any current species achieved sentience. To those who have overcome the devourer, the translation read, "We welcome you as inheritors of our watch. We seeded defensive measures across 1,000 worlds before our fall, hoping that evolution would someday produce guardians capable of continuing our vigil. The myriad was but one of many threats we contained. The true hunt begins." The message included star charts of unexplored regions beyond Concilium space, where energy signatures suggested other predatory entities were stirring. In the observatory atop Earth's tallest structure, Admiral Vasquez and High Counselor Vren studied these charts in contemplative silence. The stars reflected in Vasquez's artificial eyes as she considered the immensity of what lay ahead. "You understand what this means?" Vren finally asked. "There are threats out there that even the precursors feared." "Yes," Vasquez replied, her expression serene despite the weight of this knowledge. "And they believe humanity was evolved specifically to face them. Does that not disturb you?" the ancient alien questioned. "To learn your species may have been engineered as weapons." Vasquez smiled, the expression both comforting and somehow primal. "Evolution has no purpose, Counselor, but it does have patterns. If we evolve to be guardians, then that is what we shall be." She turned from the starfield to meet his gaze directly. "Besides, every predator must choose its prey. Humanity has made its choice." Below them, Earth's shipyards glowed with activity as a new fleet took shape, vessels designed not for conquest, but for patrol, incorporating the best of human and concilium technology. Humanity's role as the galaxy's supreme hunters had only just begun.